this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed Human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder the Capital One bank guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also talk about how most Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC.
Tax season has arrived, and doing taxes without the right help can feel overwhelming. Intuit TurboTax is here now to guide you through it with confidence. Match with a TurboTax full-service expert who handles everything for you from start to finish. Your dedicated expert checks every single deduction and credit to help you get the best possible outcome so you can feel confident you're getting every dollar you deserve. And the best part? You'll see real-time updates on your expert's progress right on your phone while you live your life. Plus, you get unlimited expert help at no extra cost, even on nights and weekends during tax season. Visit TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax full-service experts. Real-time updates only on iOS mobile app.
Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you? Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. Opposite me is one Charles W. Chuck Tran Bryant.
Nice callback.
Yeah.
Chuck Tran?
Callback, yeah. The thing auditioned and won the role.
You've never acted or auditioned for anything, have you?
Sure.
No.
I used to be in children's theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
I've never done that, except my audition with you, of course, for this spot.
That went really well.
That was so good.
Yeah.
So, you're so kind. You're too kind. You're generous.
Gross.
That's what actors always say about each other. You're so generous.
So, Chuck.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Sure.
Okay. If you've ever had a hankering for African monkey meat, I can tell you where in Europe to go. Get it.
Really?
Yeah. You can go to Paris to Charles de Gaulle Airport.
And they have monkey meat.
They have bushmeat of all kinds, apparently.
Bushmeat?
Bushmeat is what it's called. Bushmeat is another term for any kind of wild game or unregulated game. You can make the case that livestock that doesn't pass through any kind of
regulatory body.
Sure, is considered bushmeat. But typically, bushmeat is a bushman goes out into the wild, shoots a monkey through the head with an arrow, and chops it up, and there's your meat. You can also do that with crocodile.
Sure.
You can do that with river hog, porcupine, whatever.
Gross.
It is a little gross. But there was a study, I guess somebody noticed that there was a lot of bushmeat coming through Paris. And so these wildlife officials got together with the customs agency there. And over 17 days, they searched 134 passengers, randomly, I guess. But they were probably like, oh, you're coming out of Africa, right?
Right.
And they found that half of them were carrying bushmeat in their luggage.
Wow.
Unrefrigerated luggage. Like you opened up their duffel bag and there was a lot of monkey right there, ready to eat.
As opposed to the refrigerated luggage that you like to use.
Right. Well, I mean, you would like to think that they would at least, rig some dry ice, something.
Yeah.
No.
That's nasty.
It is a little nasty. But that, my friend, is part and parcel for a day's work for a customs official, is it not?
It can be, for sure.
Let's talk specifically about U.S. Customs for a second. Where did it come from, Chuck? Where did this idea originate? Where, Chuck?
Well, dude, I know everyone likes to think that our founding fathers were just all about, everybody having freedom and the government, no one owing government money for anything, but that's not true at all. George Washington and the founding fathers in the first Congress actually said, you know what, we are a struggling nation and we need to raise some dough by way of tariffs on, how about imported goods?
Right.
And so they said, sure. So that was the birth of customs.
Right. Actually, we can point to the very day that it was born. The Tariff Act of July 4th, 1789 was passed on July 31st, 1789. And it did exactly what you just said, right? Like we said, if you're carrying stuff into the country, we get to tax you on it just because it's originating outside of the country, right?
And then, ports of entry were set up.
Right, yeah. Like Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people come in, they're funneled in through these ports, and they're charged dough, right?
Yeah, big time. They actually, I was staggered by this. The U.S. Customs for like 100 years supported the entire government infrastructure.
Yeah. By 1835, we had zero debt thanks to customs revenue.
Yeah.
And even today, as far as I know, the customs agency is second only to the IRS in generating revenue for the United States, right?
Yeah, I think I didn't get a hard number, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about $30 billion a year that they bring in.
$30 billion a year.
From
That's like
booze and
almost what we bring in for Discovery.
Yeah, close.
Yeah. Originally, Chuck, the Customs Service did a whole lot of stuff, including census, Veterans Affairs.
Yeah.
And the National Institute of Standards and Technology was actually born out of the Customs Service. They're the ones who came up with our system of weights and standards.
Yeah.
Because they had to come up with a way to describe stuff that they were seizing or taxing or that kind of thing. And actually, I wrote a really cool post on the metric system. I don't know if you ever read it, but that's where I learned that. It was really cool. It's a cool post.
And the Coast Guard, too, was birthed from the Customs office.
That's right. Jerry thinks you are hilarious.
Anytime I'm mispronouncing things on purpose, she titters.
Yeah. So, Chuck, the Customs Service did all this stuff, spawned all these extra agencies, and then pretty much stayed the same for a while until 2003, when George W. was in office. The Customs Service became U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
Yeah, part of the Homeland Security Office.
Sure.
Department.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, I guess, in a way.
It does.
They kind of
Unless you have like a comprehensive immigration agency.
Right. Good point.
And so pretty much their main job is to control or oversee the flow of goods from outside the borders in and inside the borders out.
Right.
Right? They are this thin blue line between, free trade and total anarchy.
That's a good point.
Thanks, man.
Wow.
So they seize contraband, they process people, they process cargo, they enforce stuff as laws as disparate as bushmeat importation to intellectual property law.
Yeah.
Like if you get caught with some, burned DVDs that are clearly pirated, you're going to get in trouble, and you would have gotten caught by the Customs Department, right?
Yeah.
All in all, they're enforcing about 400 different provisions of law, right?
Yeah, and they like to refer to themselves as the oldest law enforcement agency in the United States.
And I think the duty that scares me, and we're going to say duty a lot in this podcast, we should probably just get it over with.
Yeah, not D-O-O-D-Y.
Duty.
D-U-T-Y.
Duty.
Right.
Right.
Just want to clear that up.
Yeah. And Chuck, they oversee what's called Exodus cases.
Yeah, what's that?
Exodus cases are, I guess, that's kind of like Broken Arrow or something like that. It's if you have weapons, weapons technology, weapons intelligence, anything you can destroy the U.S. with or attack the U.S. with, Customs is on that, and they deem those Exodus cases, and those are big time.
Yeah, I just saw a guy. I didn't look into it too heavily, but like in the news this week, there's some custom sting operation where this big businessman was selling like some sort of batteries that help a missile launch to Iran or something. I don't know.
What?
I need to look it up, but big sting going down. My friend. Exodus type.
Wow, that is Exodus.
It is.
I guess if the urban legend about Saddam Hussein importing PlayStations to use the very sophisticated chips in his guided missile
I never heard that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, when I think the first PlayStation came out,
Uh-huh.
that was an urban legend around it. Yeah.
That's a silly one.
So, Chuckers, like we said at the basis of all this, it's the Customs Service in any country is charged with keeping an eye on the flow of goods across the borders, right?
Sure.
And one of the reasons why is because, as we saw, George Washington and the Founding Fathers were hip to the idea that being government and all, you can push around guys who are importers, exporters, right?
Yeah.
And say, hey, give us a cut.
Well, yeah, the idea is kind of twofold. It's one is because, America wants you to buy American goods, but a lot of times, most times, goods from other countries you can buy cheaper.
Yeah.
So they say, all right, well, if you're going to buy something from over there, we want you to support America, but if you're going to do that, then we want to get our piece of the pie. Right.
Or they charge duty on, say, sombreros in Mexico, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
So you can get a sombrero here, but you're going to pay like $17 for it.
Right.
The same sombrero, virtually the same, except it was manufactured in Mexico. Mexico's a bad example after NAFTA was passed, but let's stick with it, shall we?
Okay.
You can get that one for $2. Well, the government's going to impose a duty on it, so maybe ultimately once you pay the duty and how much you're being charged for the sombrero,
right,
you're actually paying $19 for the Mexican one, where you can get the $17 one here in the U.S., so you might as well just get that.
Well, yeah, but that's if you're shipping like large, like there's duty-free exemptions. We should go over that real quick.
Yeah, duty-free. Explain it.
Duty-free is, in the United States, you get a $400 exemption if you come back into the country from anywhere except a Caribbean basin country or the Virgin Islands, Guam, or American Samoa. So if you come in from Europe, let's say, you're allowed to bring $400 worth of stuff in.
Right.
And you declare it, and
$400 worth of bushmeat?
Of bushmeat. And then after that, you have to start paying your tariff on that.
Okay.
And they have specific outlines for, like tobacco, you can bring 200 cigarettes or 100 cigars as part of that under $400.
Okay.
And alcohol, of course, you can bring in 1 liter of booze duty-free.
Nice.
But
so you can bring in a carton of cigarettes and a liter of booze.
Yeah.
That's a party right there.
You got it. And, a few cigars, as long as they're not Cubans, which we'll get to. But I did find this interesting. Fine art and antiques that are at least 100 years old are not subject to tax.
Really?
No matter, it could be like a $10,000 painting and no duty.
What about a $12,000 painting?
No duty.
Huh.
Ask me about folk art.
What about folk art, Chuck?
Duty.
Really?
Yep, just fine art. Folk art and handicrafts. Yeah.
The Customs Service has an opinion on art, and they've deemed folk art as crappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, or maybe they think it's so great it should be taxed.
No, I don't think that's...
No.
Have you seen folk art before?
Yeah, I had I should say this real quick. When I was living in L.A., I went to a show with Emily, one of those shows where they have folk art, and I thought that, wow, what a scam.
Yeah.
It's like, I should do this, and I came up with an idea to drum up buzz by calling over the course of like a year different places and saying, hey, do you have any art by Chuck Bryant, this artist? And to the point where they'd heard this name, and then at one point I would enter these places and say, hey, I'm Chuck Bryant, I didn't know if you want to cover some of my, carry some of my art.
Nice.
They'd be like, well, we've heard of you. Let me see that piece of tin that you slung paint on.
That's actually a brilliant idea, Chuck.
Somebody should go do that.
Why didn't you ever do it?
Because it's fraud, and it's not nice or ethical.
I don't know that that's fraud in the art world. No.
Okay.
I think that's just normal business, man.
You know why I didn't do it?
Why?
I was lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So that's duty-free.
That is very odd. Did you find out why folk art is?
No.
Just that it is.
No. We could probably call and get an answer to that.
You want to call right now?
No.
Okay. So we covered duty-free, right?
Yeah, and I guess we should talk about big business, because there's 2 different kinds. There's businesses that ship in and import tons of stuff at ports of call, and then there's you and I getting off an airplane.
Well, we should say also that with duty-free, the exemption applies to the importer, not the customer, right?
Right.
So if we come back into the States, if we come back into the States and we say, I could use a liter of scotch and a carton of Dunhills.
Right.
So we pick them up and then we continue on into the United States, we don't pay any duty. But if we do the same thing at Charles de Gaulle Airport.
Right.
And then come into the United States, we pay a duty because we're still importing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So you weren't actually an importer. That you're classified as an importer.
Yeah.
So big business, Josh, millions of dollars worth of goods each year is imported and are imported, and they kind of keep track of it the same way as they do with individuals. They can't inspect every single thing or every single person.
No way.
So they'll just kind of pick and choose. They'll open up a cargo container and say, I'm going to look at these 7 boxes in container 8.
Right.
And then the guy crosses his fingers that the cocaine is not in those, cargo holds.
Right. Exactly. And that's a deterrent in and of itself, the randomness of it all, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, that method means that tons and tons and tons of illicit substances seep through our rather porous border.
Yeah.
And it's not just with big business too, it's individual travelers as well. Like some countries use actual, chance. They leave it to chance who gets searched, so they have people passing through their borders at their airports, press a random number generator, and a certain number will trigger a green light, which means you keep going. Another will trigger a red light. That means your rectum's about to be probed.
Yeah. Or instinct, which is my favorite, when they count on the border agent the customs agent to be so skilled that they can eyeball you and say that guy has something stuffed in a place that we should check.
Either that or the GDP of that country is so low that they don't have enough money for a random number generator.
Yeah.
They rely on instinct, which comes with the salary.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Chuck, we talked about illicit substances.
Sure.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
Marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Heroin. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we were just saying, this stuff's coming through all the time, and Customs is aware of this. I don't know if you knew this or not, but they know that there are drugs coming across the border.
They do.
And they have equipment at their disposal, right? At the ports, we talked about the random number generator. The U.S. is fairly flush with cash as far as customs go, so we actually have truck-size X-rays.
Yeah.
That you can literally, they're big enough to drive a truck through at the U.S.-Mexican border.
I've done that.
Have you really?
Yeah.
You've driven through the X-ray before?
Uh-huh.
Wow. What's it like? Were you inside?
What do you mean?
Seems dangerous.
Well, I mean, it's the same as walking through an X-ray.
Which is pretty dangerous, but this is like a truck-sized X-ray.
Yeah, good point. I didn't really think about that.
Huh.
Sure. Yeah, I've been over and across the border quite a few times.
I gotcha.
Never carried anything illicit.
That's very smart.
Don't you worry.
Yeah. We also have Black Hawk helicopters, Citation jets at our disposal.
Cigarette boats.
Yes, for catching cigarette smugglers.
Yes, no. Those are the super fast boats like Miami Vice.
Oh, yeah.
Because apparently the drug smugglers, they come in under cover of the night really fast.
Yeah.
And so the Coast Guard works in concert with the DEA. It's a joint effort. And customs agents. It's not a joint effort?
No, it is. I just
okay.
thought that was a funny pun.
Yeah. So they're looking for, bad things. And I looked up, they mentioned in here that people actually smuggle things in on their person.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go through customs instead of trying to smuggle it around customs. And I thought they should have a TV show called Smugglers Do the Darndest Things. Because have you ever seen, I know you hear about these stories from time to time, but the way that these people try and get drugs in the country, it's crazy. In their bodies. Remember the guy that made a foot cast out of cocaine?
No, I hadn't heard of that one.
I think we talked about that on the webcast. It was either that or we talked about they made a dinette set, like the plates and the bowls were all made of cocaine. It's crazy. There was that was 20 kilos of coke, by the way, for the dinnerware.
Wow.
One thing they'll do is they'll put it in a condom and feed it to their snake, their pet snake.
Yeah.
And then smuggle the snake in, which I guess is easier than smuggling drugs in. I don't know. That seems a little odd.
I wonder if the average customs agent is afraid of snakes like any other person.
Yeah, maybe so.
And they figured that out.
Frozen sharks. I saw where I think it was Cambodia, they had 40 frozen sharks and they were stuffed full of drugs.
Wow.
And then the sad ones, when they smuggle them inside the dogs, liquid heroin inside those puppies. Mm-hmm. Remember that was a few years ago? Mm-hmm. And then this yellow lab had $30,000 worth of cocaine in its belly one time when they were smuggling this dog in.
That's a bad dog.
He's a good dog. Bad people. Jerry's laughing again. So how would you stop that, though? In an airport, let's say.
Well, again, there's the randomness of the whole thing serves as a deterrent. Intuition as you said, and dogs. Good dogs, not ones that are drug smuggling bad dogs, but the kind that tattle on drug smuggling bad dogs.
Yeah.
Good dogs, beagles specifically, are good apparently not just for illicit drugs, but especially for agricultural products. Apparently they're fine-tuned to sniff those out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And bombs, of course.
Right.
Which has nothing to do with customs, but...
I was actually in, I guess, Atlanta. I don't know where I was coming back from, but there was this cute little beagle who walked up to this woman and just sat down and looked up at her. And this customs guy was like, "Ma'am, will you please come with me?"
Really?
And it turned out she had fruit on her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should go ahead and mention that then.
Well, it's more of a threat than you would think, right?
Absolutely.
There's apparently a guy in the late 80s who brought a piece of fruit, one piece of fruit, back from the Mediterranean, and it was infested with Mediterranean fruit flies.
Yeah.
And it contaminated and destroyed millions of dollars worth of crops in California that year.
That's crazy.
One piece of fruit.
Have you ever driven into California? You gotta,
no, I've always flown in.
Yeah, you got to stop. They check your car. It's a real bummer too, because when you make the Vegas to California trip,
Yeah.
you're coming back from Vegas, and all you want to do is get back to your house and
Yeah,
sleep.
I'm sure.
And you got to stop at this. It's always backed up for miles, and it's the fruit. It's the agriculture stop.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
And they either ask you to, do you have any fruits or vegetables or seeds, or they just eyeball you in your car and will wave you through or say stop.
Yeah. They rely on intuition to see if you like a pear smuggler.
Yeah, I always get nervous. I don't know why.
It's just fruit.
The drug dogs, everything, they always make me nervous. And I never, of course I don't have cocaine strapped to my belly, but it just makes me nervous.
No, I think that's pretty typical.
Is
though.
it?
I think they make everybody nervous.
It's like
just
white
because
coat,
you're being
yeah.
scrutinized,
Right.
And nobody feels comfortable being scrutinized, right?
Or maybe it's the T-shirt, the "Don't Scrutinize Me" T-shirt I have on.
Right.
It's off-putting.
I don't have drugs on me. Dogs also get taken onto planes, Chuck. I thought this was kind of cool. It's very roundabout, but it makes sense. They'll take a dog onto a plane to sniff around after everyone's disembarked. Mm-hmm. And if somebody had drugs on him or her, he or she would have left some sort of trace on that seat.
Right.
So the dog will, say, this seat right here, they'll look up on the flight manifest who is sitting there, find them, and then take them to be thrown in prison.
It was Josh Clark.
Right.
The black goes to the sky.
Right.
The other cool thing, too, that we didn't mention was the electro-vacuum device. It's like a handheld dustbuster, super dustbuster sort of, but it analyzes particles in the air. So if you have cocaine packed in your suitcase, in theory, there's probably some residue floating in the air, and these things will sniff that out.
Well, it's like poop. When you smell poop, it's an odorant. It's an actual poop molecule that you're interacting with.
Yeah, that's
the same
true.
thing.
Yeah. That's very good. You just winked at me. What else we got here? Oh, money. That's a big deal.
That is a big one.
Cash. You're not allowed to take more than $10,000 in cash out of the country. But I would suspect that if you had $9,999, then you're probably a little suspicious. I don't know that for sure. Or maybe that happens a lot, and you're not suspicious. What do you think?
I think if you're a penny over $10,000, they know it.
Okay.
I think if you get anywhere near it, or if you declare $10,000, they check you.
Okay. I never leave. I mean, I never have more than $8 on me anywhere I go. So
yeah, I've never had $10,000 in cash on me ever.
No,
and probably never will.
Of course not.
Chuck, you mentioned art. Customs agents are also on high alert for antiquities.
Yeah.
Including ones, you remember when we invaded Iraq, there was a huge cultural ransacking. Their museums were getting looted. And,
yeah.
I mean, ancient stuff was just being moved out of Iraq.
Yeah.
Right? Once it's in, I guess, U.S. borders, that doesn't necessarily mean you're out of the woods. There was the example of customs finding a 1,000-year-old Chinese sculpture that had been stolen from a tomb in 1994, turning up on a Christie's auction catalog. So I guess they monitor these,
right,
and then cross-reference them. And they found that it was going to be auction. Contacted Christie's, said, "Hey, we're going to be taking that, and gave it back to China.
Right.
So that's something.
Yeah, and this news story I pulled from just a couple of days ago in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
They, at a border check between Kalatina and Serbia, they discovered 4 artifacts from 3rd and 2nd century BC and 1st century AC that were wrapped in napkins at the bottom of a suitcase. And the guy was like, oh, those are just trinket gifts from my family that are thousands of years old.
Wow.
So, busted.
Yeah. Is he busted? They didn't believe him?
No, they didn't believe him. And they did some checking, and they haven't, nothing has turned up missing from museums or anything yet, but I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it.
Gotcha. Lastly, Chuck, we were talking about bushmeat.
You were.
You also, you can't bring dog meat into the U.S.
That's a good thing.
Especially after 2000, when the U.S. passed the Dog and Cat Protection Act, which
Yeah,
is the most adorable act we've ever passed, I think.
It is, but it's sad that we needed that.
Yeah. Well, not every country's, they don't look at dogs necessarily the way we
Right.
do.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Some countries look at dogs the way we look at monkeys. It's like meat.
Right. Yeah.
We prize them for their fur.
Yeah, true.
That kind of stuff.
I didn't think about that. Oh, another thing, too, it's not always illegal stuff per se, like Cuban cigar. Sometimes it's just, there's like an embargo,
Yeah.
a trade embargo. And
Yeah.
that's a really good example.
But I mean, don't you regard Cuban cigars in much the same way you would drugs too? Just because it has that stamp of forbiddenness on it, it
Yeah.
seems like highly illegal.
Yeah.
You know,
You can buy them on the internet now.
I've heard that you can, and like they send you the cigars,
Yeah.
and then like a week later in a different package they send you the
Bands.
the bands. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
I wouldn't know.
I know you wouldn't.
But
Chuck.
I've
You're a
heard
good
that.
kid.
Like Switzerland or Sweden you can buy them from, something like that.
Well, if you want to know more about customs, we have a lot of articles on the site about it. I think if you just type in customs in the search bar at howstuffworks.com, it's going to bring up probably all sorts of stuff. Things for Christmas, illegal border crossings, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's one on U.S. Customs in particular.
And I said search bar, right? Which, as everyone knows, is the automatic trigger for listener mail, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Josh, this one struck us both pretty well here from Sergeant Walker in Afghanistan.
Yeah, this was cool.
This was awesome. We love hearing from our men and women, servicemen and women over there, putting their lives at risk, and this is a good one. Hello, guys. My name is Sergeant John Walker. I'm with the 103rd Special Ops Division in Afghanistan. I cannot give you a more descriptive location, he says. My platoon and I protect the surrounding areas near schools so that children may achieve a well-rounded education. My life is not easy, but one thing makes it all the better. Your podcast is the thing that keeps me going strong out here. Every podcast keeps me wanting more, and the next one comes out, and so forth. I always have my iPod on listening to you guys, and some of my platoon asked what I was listening to all the time, so I turned them onto it, and now there are at least 100 guys who use my computer to download your podcast.
How cool is that?
It's cool, but it doesn't stop there.
No, it doesn't.
Like I said, with the children in the school, although some speak poor English, most speak the local dialect of Farsi. My friend and I have learned a little bit of Farsi and actually translate your podcast for the older children to be able to understand it. We don't do some, like the Large Hadron Collider, but more simple ones that they can understand and that we can translate. We are expecting care packages soon, and I asked my family for a camera so I could share all of our happiness with you. I wish I had something I could give back to you guys. And clearly, Sergeant Walker, what you give us is peace of mind.
And cool emails.
And cool emails.
Yes.
So we wrote him back, and he's a very cool guy, and he's still over there, and he's still safe. This came in, a little bit ago.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So good luck to you, sir.
Good luck, Sergeant Walker, right?
Yes.
And if you have a cool email about translating our podcast into some other language to help other people, we want to know about it. Bet we don't get any more. If you have one, though, or if you just want to say hi or something like that, you can email Chuck and me at stuffpodcast@howstuffworks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com. Want more How Stuff Works? Check out our blogs on the HowStuffWorks.com homepage. Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you?
The NFL playoffs are here, and Wild Card Weekend, powered by Verizon, is in full swing.
Man, it all comes down to this.
The stakes are high, hopes are higher, and everything is on the line.
My goodness!
It's win or go home, and every moment counts on the road to Super Bowl 60.
It's a touchdown!
Wild Card Weekend, powered by Verizon. Through Monday. Visit watch.nfl.com for the full schedule.
These days, it seems like AI agents are just about everywhere you turn, every field and every function. But without identity, you can't trust they'll serve your business instead of jeopardizing it. Fortunately, Okta helps you get identity right by securing your AI agents' identities, giving you a single layer of control, a single standard of trust. So whether an AI agent supports a single user or your entire enterprise, with Okta, you'll turn risk into opportunity. Secure every agent. Secure any agent. Okta secures AI.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed Human.